Hey, what's up, everybody? Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. This video here may not be for everybody, but we're going to talk about debt. We're going to talk about the problems that, um, according to some surveys, over uh, over 48%. Let me see here. Let me just get back here on this survey. Yeah, okay. So, second quarter, 2022, 48% of consumers are struggling with debt, like overwhelming debt, not just where you got your bills and you're just like trying to pay them and living paycheck to paycheck. That number is actually higher. Like almost 70% of Americans, no matter what income level they're living in, are living paycheck to paycheck. So to kind of break that down, if a person is making $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year, they are spending all of the money that they're making on a weekly or monthly or bi-weekly basis. They're having that problem. And then 48% of people, which means that there's a group of you that are watching this video right now who fall into both of these categories, uh, can't even make it. When they add it up and put it on a piece of paper, they would see that they're actually spending more money than they're actually making. And you might be wondering, well, how can a person keep existing with financially and juggling the balls like that? Well, people do it all the time. I did it in the 90s when I had my financial problems, and I'm pretty sure the majority of you that are watching this video have that same problem. And we're going to talk about the solutions, but I'm going to talk about it in a different way, because I know why people are having this problem, but I don't know if our country or people are ready. But I think that we are getting ready because people's minds are opening up to different ideas. So right now they're saying that 23% of the people don't have any savings at all. And the thing about it is that when they talk even about the savings, they're talking about a low amount, like $500. They're saying that 28% of the people don't even have enough to cover their expenses for 3 months. They're saying that, well, these are the numbers. 23% of the people don't have any savings. 28% of the people they have some savings, but they don't have enough to cover 3 months of expenses. 22% do have savings to cover 3 to 5 months of expenses, but they don't say what amount those expenses are. And then enough emergency savings to cover 6 months of their expenses, 27%, but they're still not breaking it down to the amount that would be. And you know how people don't always tell the truth on these things. They, they kind of, this is how it goes. When it comes to I'm taking care of business, a lower amount of people tell the truth on. And then when they say, do you have the money to take care of business, a higher number of people say that they do. So really, they need to really make these surveys. They need to do fully blind. I don't know how they're getting their numbers, but they're getting them. That's just what they're doing. So with that being said, with the problems that I see with customers, the problems that I see when you see news, the problems that I see with people watching stuff on YouTube, the comments that I see from people, the types of videos that people are jumping on to want to watch. It's all about how to make money, how to make more money, how to get more credit cards, how to do all of this different stuff. And that leads me to my thinking that most people are struggling financially, and they're trying to figure out a way to make more money. And I'm just going to tell you plain and simple what the realization that happened to me is, that you can make more money and still have the same problems. You're just going to have more money. You're spending more money on your stuff rather than fixing the root of the problem. The root of the problem is, why are you spending your money? Why are you spending your money? The ways that you're spending your money. And you may be pre-programmed from family, from your upbringing, to where you're subconsciously don't even know what you're doing, and it will feel uncomfortable to actually make the changes to do what's better for you, because you're going to feel like you're not being able to enjoy life. Uh, what I say when people are experiencing financial problems is that they're playing a record. If you can just imagine for a moment that you were a young child and you watched the way that your mother and father handled their finances, or whoever brought you up handled their finances. And if they were not the saving type, if they did not manage your finances, if you moved from place to place, or your family, maybe you had a good life, but you saw that your family maybe always talked about that they had to budget the money, and that things were always tight, and that we were not going to be able to get these things because we just don't make the money. You don't know this. You don't know this, but all of that stuff is recorded in your mind. All of that stuff. Even if your family did the right things, certain things that they could have done, you could have taken in, and you playing that record over and over and over, and it's making you react a certain way when you're trying to make changes to better your life, trying to make changes to do things right financially. What happens is that you have this feeling that comes up from the inside, this emotion. And that emotion is going to make you react to doing things a certain way. So even if you're trying to save money, let's use this example. You know that you should not spend the money on something that you want to get. But if you don't spend the money on that, you're going to have a certain feeling. You're going to have a feeling that, okay, I'm not being able to enjoy life. I'm not being able to do something. If you're a couple, maybe you get in an argument with your spouse because you're like, well, you're stopping me from being able to do this. The thing that people don't even understand is that that's an internal mechanism from something that had happened when you were younger. And it was just put into you, and you're just playing that out. And so even when you try to do the right thing, even when you look at, you know that you can't do this, you can't make that purchase, but you still go out and do it, and you're wondering to yourself, why did I do that? Why did I put myself in that situation? It's because you are playing that old record. And you know that you've done this. How many times have you went out and bought a car, used your credit card when you know you didn't have the money, bought something that you already have the same thing already in your closet, and you just went out and did it again because it makes you feel a certain way? Well, the thing about it is that when you're trying to change that feeling, and even though that feeling, to do the right thing, you think that it would give you the right feeling, you don't have that feeling, won't work for you right now, because subconsciously you're like pre-programmed, and the feelings and everything is with the feeling that you currently give yourself when you do go out and spend that money. So for all of this stuff to change, for everybody to be able to change what they're doing right now, if you find yourself with financial problems, and your financial problems is the root, and your credit reports is the tree that sprouted up from from what you did financially. What you have to do is you have to dig deep, and you have to find out, why am I doing these things? And this works for anything that you do in life, but you have to figure out, why am I doing this? Why am I spending my money this way? Why am I utilizing my credit this way? Why am I buying things that I can't afford? Why am I doing it? And you have to be true to yourself, and you have to answer those questions. And then you have to make a conscious decision to change that old thinking pattern. Now, it's not going to be easy to just change an old thinking pattern. We all should know this, and you know this, that it's not easy to change that pattern. But let me tell you how you change that pattern. Let me tell you how I changed my thinking patterns when it came to financial decisions. Is that what you have to do is, number one, you got to make a conscious decision. A lot of the decisions that you're making right now is subconscious. You think you're making a conscious decision, but you're not. You're just reacting by feeling and emotion, and you're just making those decisions. If you make a conscious decision, you're going to say, do I need this? Why am I doing it? what position is it going to put me in? And then you're going to be able to say, if I go ahead with that decision, at least I made a conscious decision. I didn't make an emotional decision, because most of the time you're making an emotional decision to go ahead and go through with something. And that's why people will have remorse. When I started doing this process, when I made a decision to do something, I was all the way in. So now when you make your decisions, you're not like halfway in, halfway out. That's why people have so many problems with starting a business or being able to move to a new job, to be able to get make changes in their life, is because they're got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You have to go all the way 100% in, and the only way that you're going to feel comfortable with that is to make that decision. And now, not to say that you're not going to have things come up in your mind that will make you think, oh, did I really make the right decisions on doing that? And that's just that old programming. And the way that I do it is I read to myself my goals, what I want for myself and my family, and I read it in the morning. Just like I'll eat breakfast and drink coffee, I'm going to read this. Because what you read and what you put into your mind is what's going to play out. See, right now, all of your financial decisions are just stuff that was put into you, and you're just playing it out. You're playing out what you know. You're playing out what you feel comfortable with. And even when someone like me talks to you about making those changes, you don't feel comfortable. Maybe you don't even trust me to tell you, because you're like, well, he's telling me to do this. I know it's good to do this, but I just can't do it. And so then the emotions build up. So you have my information that I'm giving to you, and then you have your emotion that's coming up. And we all know that emotions will make a person do all types of things. Emotions will make people, do things that are not rational. And so what I do and what I teach people to do is, number one, you got to have that calm mind. Like if you can just imagine this for a second, you know how it feels to go out and run. Like if you were to get out and run a couple of blocks, and you would be, winded. Like, you depending on what amount of shape you're in, no matter what, when you run, your body's going to move into a different mode. Well, you may not be aware of this, but your mind does the same thing. When you're under emotional stress, it's just like you're running in your mind. And you have to first calm your mind, because if you don't calm your mind, it's just going to do what's programmed in there. It's going to just go to the fight or flight route, the regular subconscious programming that's in there, and it's going to make you make bad decisions, because you're going to make them all on emotions. You're going to make all your decisions based on things that you experienced in the past, when they don't have nothing to do with what you're about to go through right now. So what you have to do is you have to first make the decisions on what you want for yourself and your family moving forward financially. I know that might sound a little bit backwards. You might listen to people like Dave Ramsey and all of them, with the books and tapes that's been around for years, and the different CDs and back. I remember VHS tapes. Why do we have all of these different new programs that just keep coming out? And it's because no one wants to get to what really is the problem. The problem is you subconsciously have a problem, and the root of everything, the trees, the leaves are what's growing, and everybody is cutting the leaves, and they're cutting down the trees. And then when they look underneath, they're wondering, why do those trees and leaves keep sprouting up with the same problems? And it's because you haven't got to the root, the subconscious. So you need to calm your mind. Calm your mind. The way to calm your mind is to count 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and you calm. 2, count to 10, and count to 1 10 times, 2 10 times, 3 10 times, 4 10 times, until you feel that your mind has stopped racing. And then you need to write down what you want for your life, because what you want is what's going to materialize. It may not materialize in the way that you thought it would, but what you put in will materialize in some form or fashion. You're going to be way better off than what you're leaving right now. You're just leaving it to letting other people put stuff into your mind on how you want things to materialize. You're actually living out other people's dreams and you don't even know it. Next, you read that daily. It's just like food. It's just like drinking water. It's just like drinking coffee. You read it and you get it into you until it materializes. I showed a little bit back before, and I'm going to show you. I bring this out as proof. You can see that I wrote right here for 6 months. This was back in 2010. I had wrote for 6 months when I was trying, like I had got stuck, and I wanted to build my businesses bigger, and I wanted to make new goals, and I wrote it out. You could see it right here. I wrote this out for 6 months, and at that time, I wanted to increase my income to $48,000 at that time per month. $48,000 per month. I was stuck at a certain amount. I think it was like 20 or 30,000 a month is where I was stuck, and I said I want to get to 48,000 a month. I ended up getting to 65,000 a month after 6 months of doing this. And what I did is I read it 10 times, and it was where it was just part of me. I didn't even have to read it on a piece of paper, and then I wrote it out. The reason why you want to write it out, writing it out is equivalent to building a house. So when you write it out, write it out. It's like you'll be able to do this in your sleep, and you'll see that this will start to materialize in some form or fashion. And if you want to get what I had wrote, there's a link below here so you can get what I had wrote out. So you'll be able to get that. But so I read that to myself. Now I have a new one where it's like, believe it or not, it's like 6 pages, and I read it, and I read it, and I read it in the morning. It's become a part of me, but I still read it just to absorb it, to see my handwriting, to see that this is something that I want to formulate for me and my family. And there has been things, like very good things that have happened to us. And yes, there's been some ups and downs, but that's part of life. The quicker you get through those downs, the faster you can get on to letting the good things happen to you, because there's always gonna be certain things that pop up. So I wanted to get that across to you. I hope you appreciate it for today's video, because I mean, when it comes to debt, people are just, there's all these different things that they show on TV. There's all these different books, and they're telling you to budget and to do all of these things. Not to say that those things are not good, but it's just like trying to lose weight. When you're trying to lose weight, they could tell you all the things that you can't eat. But if they don't get to the root of why you're eating, the reasons why you eat those things, none of that stuff is going to work. That's probably the best example that I can give to it. So if they don't get to the root of why you're spending if you don't get to the root of why you're spending your money the way that you're spending your money, none of the budgeting tips and tricks and strategy and Dave Ramsey and all of the other people that they have, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all of that stuff, it's not going to work for you. So I have 2 offers that I want to make. The first one, the links are going to be below here. You need to get this stuff. You watch the videos, you try all these different things, but I think that these are going to be the things that are going to be worth your while. So if you're still watching the video, there's going to be a link below. There's 2 different links. One is going to be if you want to get that exact script that you're going to write 10 times per day, and you're going to say it 10 times per day. If you want to get that script, there's going to be a link below to get that. And then also, if you want me to make a program for you, to help you where you listen to this when you go to sleep, you can put it on your phone, an MP3 file. I can also make that for you. And just in case you didn't know, I'm also a certified hypnotherapist. And so you will be able to get that information to you. This is stuff that I've used on myself daily, and I've decided that I need to, because of the situation with people, because people don't feel sure of themselves. Like, I thought when I was going through school for hypnosis school, that people, you know, it was just really for smoking, anxiety, like those types of things. I didn't even know what people are experiencing right now with the way that how people react if somebody don't like a video, if somebody says something bad about them on the internet, if somebody comments something bad about something that they post. People don't even have the strength from inside to even cope with this. And this is because they don't have a self-esteem. And if they don't have a self-esteem, that means that people did not put that into them. And so what I was doing back then, it's even needed more now. Like, people need this even more. Back then it was a lot of people, but now, like, I would say like 70 to 80% of the people in the United States, because of what's going on with social media, what's going on with all of the different ways that people can, bully people and do all these types of things. I'm finding out that people are not strong on the inside at all. Like, they're very weak on the inside, and that's not to say that it's something bad about a person, because there was a time, I remember when I discovered hypnosis, I was 15 years old when I discovered it, and I was very weak on the inside. And I listened to that audio over and over and over again, and I ended up becoming a very strong person on the inside. Like, no one could tear me down on the inside. Like, nobody. I don't care if it was a parent. I don't care if it was a relative. I don't care if it was a friend. I could tell you something personally that happened to me. All of my friends ended up, leaving, where I didn't communicate with any of my friends that I grew up in high school with. And it was because I became a strong person. And when they saw that when I made the decision that I was going to be a business person, I wasn't going to be in sports, I wasn't going to be hanging out on the streets and doing all types of stuff with them, that I was going to join the military, join the army, and start to make something of my life, a lot of my friends withdrew from me, and they were talking behind my back. And when I learned that they were talking behind my back, it did not harm me at all. People, now fast forward to now, some of the comments that people put about me on YouTube, I know that some people, the same people that put those comments, if I was to reverse and say the same comment to them, it would probably destroy their life. It would destroy their life. So this is, with my channel, you see it on my thumbnails. And I went back to putting those thumbnails on there that says that this is going to be positive thinking. But part of positive thinking is to get your subconscious thinking in a positive way. And don't you dare believe for one moment that you are not working on a subconscious mindset. You can get in your car right now and drive somewhere, and you don't have to teach yourself. You don't have to pick up a manual and say, okay, I got to stick the key in there and turn it. And then I got to hit the brake and put it to reverse, or put it into gear and go straight. You may not know this, but that's subconscious thinking. Anything that you've learned how to do, that's subconscious thinking, and it overrides the conscious. Just think if you had to get in your car and you had to learn how to drive every time. Well, what you learned about your finances is the same thing as driving that car. It's the same thing. You just don't know and understand it that way because it's more mental. And that mental part will be more destructive than you getting in that car and have to learn how to drive that car over and over again. Because the mental is like a record. It's playing over and over and over again. And it tricks you, and you don't even know that you're doing the same thing over again. You're wondering, why am I getting the same results? I read that book. I listened to that tape. Why am I getting the same results? Why are they getting better results and I don't get the same results? It's because you are playing a mental subconscious record that makes you, number one, get what you've always gotten. So if you've been in bad relationships and you're wondering why do I keep getting into bad relationships, because you're playing the subconscious record. You're giving yourself what you want. You don't even know you're looking for a bad relationship, and you think you're looking for a better relationship, but your subconscious mind is playing a trick on you, and it's saying find that person. They might look a little bit different. They might seem a little bit better, but you're attracting that same individual. So the constant person in all of these bad relationships was you. And you need to admit that. So that means that you're playing the wrong record. You're attracting the wrong people. And so all of your bad financial decisions, all of your bad credit decisions, who is in common? Who's there with all of that? It's you. So you're making the bad decisions. And you might be thinking, well, Steve, I'm trying to make the right decisions. You're trying consciously to make the right decisions, and when you try to make the right decisions, your subconscious starts to take over and gives you a bad feeling, and that's what stops you from being able to change. So if you change the subconscious, you change the inside, the changes on the outside will start to appear the more that you believe on the inside. The more that you believe on the inside. All right. I'm going to end the video here. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. That's the way that we're going to repair your credit. That's the way. No other way. If you can't handle it the way that I put it in that video, then don't sign up with our services, because that's the way it's going to be. We're going to do the work. You're going to be the customer. You'll be able to look in and see that work is being done. You'll be able to check in 24/7. You'll be able to call customer service. I have people that here work for me full time. They'll answer your call. We answer the calls in the order received. We call people back. If we don't get you on the phone right away, we're going to email you or text you, and we're going to text you also. If you need your credit reports and scores, the link is below here. We have the FICO score option that you can get below here, so you can see what car dealers see, mortgage companies, and credit card companies. All of the FICO scores. And then if you just want to get your regular credit reports just to see what's on there, we have a link below here. You can go to your3scores.com to see that. Links are below here for the if you want to get the statute of limitations letter, debt validation letter, cease and desist collection activities letter, if you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, if you need help with debt collectors that are trying to sue you in court, third-party debt collectors, and original creditors, we'll review those documents. Just send it to support@thecreditrepairshop.com. Go to our website. Links are all below here. You can upload those documents. We'll look at them. Thank you for your time. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you come back and watch more videos. This stuff is about to get really intense because I see what's going on right now in this economy. Thank you for your time.